Welcome to LCB Gaming.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the, presumably first... Actually, no, this isn't going to be the first.
It'll be the first, probably. It's the first one we're doing.
The first episode of After the Fact.
So, After the Fact is a new thing we're doing because of how strongly we felt
about...
at the end of Outlast.
Yeah.
We thought we'd do kind of like a podcast format. So this is all footage from our gameplay. We've already played it. So we're just sitting here doing a little podcast talking about our feelings on the game now that we finished it.
A little review for you guys.
A little review. It's going to be fun.
How we feel.
I was thinking, guys, we could start... we review the ending last.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we all had very strong thoughts about the ending. And we all, I think, generally agree after our long conversation after we finished it. So...
Spoilers.
Yeah. No. Well,
spoilers.
warning. Spoiler warning for the game Outlast.
Like
if you've never played it, you don't want to know the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, or, I mean, if you watched the series, you already know
You
everything,
already know,
so
yeah.
That's
fine.
true.
Well,
Anyway, if someone didn't see the series.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the series, go watch it.
Yeah. And if you enjoy us giving a little review like this, let us know. Yeah, let us know in the comments. Like it, favorite it, subscribe.
How can we get better?
Yeah. How can we get better? We live to serve you. Anyway, let's talk about Outlast. Outlast.
So,
the debut game, I believe, from studio Red Barrels.
You don't last long.
Actually,
No, you outlast. You have to last the whole game, Sarge.
Anyway,
You're not paying attention.
Spoiler.
If you watch the series, you have come to realize that me and Sarge are not fans of horror games.
No.
So actually, guys, as people who hate horror games and being scared, what did you think about it?
They did a really good job of scaring you, like to the point where I didn't want to open I didn't want Sarge to open anything. I think I played for a grand total of 7 seconds. I think I turned the camera, and that was it. But it did a really good job of creating a very tense situation, and it didn't use jump scares like in a cheap way. It used the jump scare to start a tense moment. So I mean, for people who enjoy that, it's going to be a great game for the asylum part of it, where you're in the asylum and whatnot.
Yeah. Good stuff.
The whole intro to the game, like, it's very well done. It's very meticulous. It's purposeful, and as soon as you enter into the house, it's like you get this vibe of fear, and I think that's very well done for a game. Just as soon as you enter the asylum, like, in order for that to happen, it's very impressive.
Yeah, you go up through the scaffolding stuff or whatever, and you enter the first room, and you're like, psh, what could this be? And then the lights go off, and you're like, oh shit.
And that's very, like, for most games, like, you normally don't get scared until you see what you're facing. But you know you're going into an asylum. You know that there's crazy, and like, it's a crazy situation, and you don't know exactly what you're going to be facing. So for them to do that, I say, hell of a good job.
Yeah.
And also, the whole game does a very good job of playing off of specific fears. Like, there's the one part where you get thrust into that room, and there's just that dude who doesn't say a word, who just doesn't hurt you, but he just follows you everywhere you go. Yeah. And that's a really cool way to play off of anxiety. Yeah. And then there's the doctor, who is almost like this calming, like, Joker, like, psychopath. And that kind of plays off of that specific area of fear.
And he just cuts off your fingers.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it plays off of different, especially Fear of the Dark. It does such a good job, like where you lose your camcorder and you turn around and all those guys are there, but you didn't know they were there. Man,
we all lost it.
We screamed so bad.
And tight spaces. Even the open space, when you get to the one room and there is no walls, like, there's no hiding spot, it's just one big open room.
Tight spaces, open spaces, light, dark, all of it. It just plays on every single fear.
Well, in the entire game, you're in these tight spaces and you're, like, running from things through hallways, and you're like, man, I wish I had room to get away. So then they thrust you in that courtyard, and it's like, nah, now it's too open. He can see me anywhere I go. Yeah, and the whole, like, lightning strikes where there's light for a second and he can see you in the light. Oh,
It was
very well designed.
Yeah.
Very, very well designed.
Like, it was from the, like, setup and stuff, it was a very well designed game, and as you progress through, it, like, and the override, like, the underlying story of the Wall Rider, like, it just,
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. It's like this underlying fear the whole time, and you're just like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
But it's not your main concern because you've got people, like Chris Walker and
the twins.
The twins.
Yeah.
And the other dude with the little bat, the spike bat in the very beginning.
Not even.
He's like there for a little bit. But
see,
still.
I don't know though if that guy is the same guy who chases you with the 4 other dudes towards the end. Or if it's just like that's a common psychopath thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't like.
Because they chase you at one point after you escape the doctor, I believe. They chase you, screaming at you and going crazy. And then they're the same guys who are in the dark when you get your camcorder back.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if he's the same guy, but it's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, that, like, the way they set up the story by using, like, case files of people, and just by reading different case files, you kind of piece together this story, and it's super cool. And objectively, as someone who really hates the horror genre in general, I can appreciate how well that was done.
And that's a cool thing as well, because you are playing as a reporter, so it's almost like it's your job to go find the story. You have to pick up the documents and take the notes to really piece together what's going on. Like, it's almost on you as the reporter to get the story.
Yeah, and that's another thing, the notes you take. Like, when you take notes and seeing him progressively get more and more just, like...
Insane?
He's going insane as the thing goes on.
I honestly didn't feel like he was insane. Honestly. Like, I get when he was writing, it's kind of like, ooh, it's kind of weird, but...
Well,
I felt it was very just honest.
Insane. He got more and more like, fuck this, like, I am going to die.
He got more numb
I related to him
near
that part.
He got more numb to it, almost.
Yeah.
Like
to a point where he didn't give a shit if he was going to die. Because, like, one of the last notes he writes is, like, fuck this. He's like, if I die, take my story to, like, someone, but, like, do something with my torn remains.
And it's actually really interesting how, through the notes, you kind of see how he starts to sympathize with the crazy people.
Yeah.
Like, even to the point, spoiler, last warning, when the Wall Rider kills Chris Walker, and you record it.
Yeah.
And then the note says something along the lines of, like, you've escaped hell, Chris Walker, I pray to God you don't find another. So, like, he even is sympathizing with Chris Walker, who is this guy who has tried to slaughter you and rip your head off for the entire game.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So,
I guess now that we've reached that,
ending?
let's get to the ending.
Can I explain the Wall Rider?
Let's not say ending. Negatives. Because there is negatives.
The ending is the negative.
The ending is the negative.
Well,
can I explain what the Wall Rider is?
Hang on, we'll get. You can explain it. We'll wait till we get there. So the elevator goes down. You're at the end of the game. You just watched Father Martin get torched, which was horrible, and then Chris Walker chases you. You finally get to the elevator. It stops at the main floor, and you're like, yes, this is it. And then it goes down a level, and keeps going down, and you're like, damn it, this game isn't over yet. And you come out, and you're in Hoth.
Yeah.
And so you continue looking around, and...
It changes genres on you.
Yeah.
It goes from horror to a sci-fi.
Yeah. It feels like it went from, like, zombie psychological horror to Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just feels
like
off.
almost like The Thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And not in a good way.
And the thing is, like, I still liked the ending. I thought it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was decent. It's not the perfect ending. I thought Chris Walker dying is very satisfying to me personally. But
oh, thank God he's gone.
But like,
although that last scare of his is creepy as hell.
Oh yeah,
like when you walk in and he just grabs you all of a sudden.
That was awesome. But I didn't like. It feels like it switched genres completely. It goes from this very grounded in reality scary story about the depths of depravity and human, like, horror and the things humans will do to each other.
Yeah, well, it's over the top, but it still feels
over the
real.
top,
it feels like
yeah.
it could have happened.
Yeah, exactly. It feels at least grounded in reality. So it's terrifying, but it's over the top, but it's terrifying. And all of a sudden, it's sci-fi and, like, future tech and Nazi mysticism. And it's like, what?
Yeah, and so basically...
It just totally betrays its tone.
Yeah, at the end of the game, you're trying to... You find out that Billy, like the first guy you read about, really, you find out he's controlling the Wall Rider.
Yeah.
And so you have to go and kill him, and so it becomes this, like, chase sequence of you running to 3 different spots to, like, turn off these fuses and stuff, and then finally shut it down, the failsafe, so that Billy basically explodes. And his little bubble.
When you're trying to do that, it's scary, but not how the previous stuff was scary.
It's more intense.
Yeah.
It's like an intense action scene,
Because,
not a scary.
Like, we got to that
scene.
point, and you cut on night
Oh,
vision.
when we turn on the night vision,
Yeah,
the
he's
Wall
there.
Rider was right
He's
there.
like,
that
we're
scared us.
That
Yeah.
scared the
Yeah.
crap out of us, because it's just like, you can't see him until you do that. But after that point, you really don't even need to turn on your camera.
Yeah, you just
like
run.
it has no purpose to it. You just got to go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
The intensity goes down super fast.
And now I personally would like to explain the ending since I have the biggest problem with
go
it.
for it.
So you kill Billy, and the Wall Rider's throwing you all about the room, and you're getting
As
really
it would.
wrecked. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it's like fighting then you're like, man, this demon will not let me go. And so it like picks you up into the air and then drops you. And you're like, oh my goodness, I think I just did it. So your guy's like stumbling along.
Because it kind of looks like it dissolves almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're stumbling along and you get to this door and they open. And it's, I think...
it's the Nazi and
it's
his...
Murkoff, isn't it?
Wernicke.
Wernicke, Dr.
And then
Wernicke.
I think
and a
I
bunch
assume
of like
they're with
SWAT.
Murkoff. Like the SWAT people are with Murkoff Corporation, but they never explain it.
They never explain it.
No.
And they look at you and you put your hands up, clearly not in any kind of threat to them, and they shoot you. Once and twice actually. And you're like looking down, you're like, oh my gosh, these bitches just shot me after all I just went through. And you look up again, and then they unload on you. And the whole screen goes black, and all of a sudden you hear, now you are the host. And all of a sudden you hear, what's that? And then they all get wrecked.
By Wall Rider.
The Wall Rider. And it pissed me off because everybody in there just died. Literally everyone.
Yeah.
Like, so there was no point in telling the story.
I once had...
Everybody died.
Yeah, I once had a professor in screenwriting
Ugh.
tell us that horror is the easiest genre to write for, because you only have to write a beginning and middle. And this game doesn't really have an end.
Yeah, but see, here's the
Nothing's
thing.
resolved.
Like, horror movies will leave something open-ended so that the killer, like, gets away so that they can possibly do a sequel. But it also leaves that fear in you. However, there's other people in the story that know he's out there. And they're like...
True.
That's
okay,
the
that makes
difference.
Sense. Yeah.
This game, literally everybody that knew about it is dead. So no one knows, like, that whole asylum is just kind of there, no one knows about it, and there was no purpose in telling the story.
Yeah.
Because it ends with nothing being even sort of resolved, or it doesn't even end with someone being affected by the story. It just ends with nothing, and it pissed me off.
Well, and
I was personally offended I played, or watched that game get played.
Plus, a big thing is like, oh, the asylum still stands, and anyone who enters, but it's like, 90% of the dangerous people are dead now, because Father Martin killed himself.
Yeah.
Chris Walker's dead. The doctor's dead. The twins are still alive, but they were following Father Martin, and then they let you go, so presumably they're not a threat anymore. So basically, if someone else was to do exactly what the main character did, they could walk right out the front door. It's not like Father Martin's going to stop them. They walk in, be like, what the shit, and leave.
Yeah.
They can't go out the front door, but they can go out the window again.
Yeah.
Because we never did unlock the front door.
Because Chris Walker ain't going to throw you out the window now.
Nope.
All right, but here's the thing. Sarge, do you have anything you want to say? You haven't spoken
About
the ending specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my thing on it. If it would have gone 10 times better if they would have stuck into the asylum. Like, you're stuck. The asylum is the only world there. There is no Hoth. There is no underworld type bullshit at the bottom. Okay, this isn't. I don't care about the Nazi thing. We're not playing Captain America. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more clever, and I don't even think that there should have been like a demon type character, which you need to explain on that. That's a story.
Just about that.
Because I think it's scary enough that people, like any cult or some religions, believe in the scariest things, and you have no idea what to expect from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's scarier than actually having a demon or having something like that, because it's like these people are putting their trust into this.
And if it wasn't there the whole time, it would be almost scarier.
Yeah, so it's like you're building suspension off of these people's beliefs, and they're killing innocent people because of the Wall Rider.
Almost like if the Wall Rider didn't exist.
Yeah.
And the story revolved around Father Martin creating a religion based off of the Project Wall Rider thing, and like worshiping the mythology of it without there being a real Wall Rider.
Exactly.
So there's this cult after you. Yes. But there's nothing supernatural.
And I think that would have been done. It would have made it more interesting, way scarier, and the ending. I don't care if the guy dies or not. That's, for me, in a horror story and everything, that doesn't really bother me much. 'Cause I just don't care.
But see...
I should, but I don't.
It bothers me because I just wanted resolution. Like, that whole game sets it up as, like, you're a journalist, this is your job. Like, if you get through this, you can, like, get the word out there. And, like, it would have been really satisfying. And, like, it would still be a really scary game. I think horror movies leave it open-ended because it's a movie. Like, you leave and you're like, oh, man. A game, I don't think, should leave you scared afterwards. I think you should have some kind of satisfaction. That's like, fair. I beat the game. This is something I beat. A movie, you didn't have to, like, put any effort into beat. You just follow it.
That's fair. I understand that.
I hear that.
So, like, I would have preferred he get away and you feel some kind of satisfaction at the end. I wish... Like Sarge was saying, like, the Wall Rider hadn't been real. Like, it was just something they were worshipping, and they somehow changed it so that you get chased out of the building by Chris Walker.
Or even to have the entire asylum. Like, if Father Martin was on the cross, and he was sitting there, and say, like, you were a higher part. Like, if there was a top...
Like a balcony?
A balcony. And you were, like, looking down there, and he said, like, looks at you, and he's like, yes, my son, we are here for the Wall Rider. After I burn, and then, like, he makes a call out for them to chase after, like, you're the sacrifice after him. Like, you're the next sacrifice.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So then you have to get out of there, and you're running away. You don't have your Jeep. I think that's cheap if you had the Jeep. I really do. I feel like it would be way more intense if you could try to go find security. Like, you got to go to the town or something like that to get people to save you, and like you're running through the woods to get away, and then you finally get away. I think that would be fucking incredible.
See, you know what I think would be cool? Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever played the original Metroid game, but the really cool thing about that game is the whole game goes through this crazy space facility, and you get to the end, and you destroy the Metroid, and then you have to escape the entire game. You have to backtrack through all of it and escape. So what if, like, the whole game was you making your way through this asylum, and not necessarily back through the entire asylum, but the whole game is you making your way through the asylum. Father Martin burns, and then as he's burning, instructs everyone to kill you next, and you have to escape while you're being chased by the twins and Chris Walker and everyone else, while you're being chased by all of them as the asylum is burning.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Fix it, Red Barrels. Go back.
Yeah,
fix
and
your,
like then
fix
you wouldn't even
game.
have to go to the next town. You could like be running out, and as you leave the doors, like the building collapses.
Yeah.
And so like you get out to the courtyard,
and then
like the whole building just kind of crumbles into fire.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, Chris Walker could like lunge out, but like he's like basically dead, and he's just like still trying to get at you.
That'd be really cool.
And then you just
I'm disappointed the game didn't end like
leave
that.
with your Jeep. Anyway,
Let's talk about the Wall Rider.
About the Wall Rider.
All right, so here's the thing. I mentioned this in the channel. I have played this game through before. It was a couple years ago. Well, longer than that, but it was a long time ago. Is the point? Again, I kind of like the ending. Upon second viewing, it bothered me a little bit more, but I still was like, whatever. I can deal with the ending. But there's a big but. I was under the assumption that the Wall Rider was a demon, and that there were supernatural forces at play, and that personally, I think that made more sense and fit in more with the tone of the story because it is a horror story. Yeah. So having a demon makes sense. Another spoiler, but apparently, and we had to look this up and we figured it out afterward. There is a document that explains, oh no, the Wall Rider is not a demon. It is a swarm of nanobots, which are tiny, stupid robots.
You heard it from LCB Gaming.
And that's freaking dumb.
That is dumb.
That is so dumb.
It's just a giant swarm of robots.
Like, that totally undermines the scare of the game. I keep thinking back to, like, the first moments you see the Wall Rider. It's not scary to me anymore. It's just robots.
You know the TV channel Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a bad sci-fi movie.
It sounds like a bad sci-fi original movie. Again, that game would have been better without the Wall Rider because the whole game is so serious and scary. And then it ends with a Nazi making a kid mind control robots?
And then
what?
That also doesn't make sense how the Wall Rider possesses you, quote unquote, at the end.
It doesn't.
Robots.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That doesn't make any sense.
And especially because, like, alright, say, for instance, they say Billy apparently figured out how to control it with his lucid dreaming. And that's how it was doing everything. Then, when Billy died, it should have shut off.
Yeah.
And let's say Billy's the host, and it inhabits him, he controls it, Billy dies, it inhabits you. Then when you die, it should have died. Like, if it was dying after Billy died, how did it have time to get out of you when you died and then inhabit a new host?
Yeah, because when you get killed, you can't control it. Even if you were the control, like, you get shot.
Yeah.
And you're dying.
It's freaking stupid. In the end of our gameplay, I kind of defended the ending a little bit. That was before I knew the Wall Rider was robots. I think we all can agree. Really cool, well-designed game.
Up until
terrible ending.
Yeah.
If you want to, like, play that game, even though you basically know what's going to happen, as soon as you get towards the end of that game and the elevator stops at the main floor, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Just pretend you escaped, because the end of it will only disappoint you.
Pretend you had our ending, where it was burning and you had to escape. That's a better ending.
It's a way better ending.
So, now comes the question of, are we going to play... Well, first off, Outlast 2 just came out.
Yeah.
That actually, upon reading it, looked like it could be interesting.
We've read a lot of reviews for it, and we think we're going to give it a chance.
We might give it a shot.
It might be a while.
From the review, it kind of sounds like what we want.
Yeah.
Because we're talking...
It sounds more realistic and better told as a story.
So...
the other one is, will we play the Whistleblower DLC for Outlast 1? Which I can say with... we're all unanimous on the fact that now we are not touching that game anymore because the whole point of the Whistleblower thing was like...
And it just explains the Wall Rider.
It explains the Wall Rider, and I don't feel like hearing about a swarm of fucking robots.
Stupid robots.
Is dumb. So, to end this whole thing, Outlast, the first game, good up until the end.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. I docked it a point because of the ending.
I'm going to do...
a whole point.
I want to do a Sarge's stars. You know, you have the 5-star general.
All right.
So we're going to make it like 5-star gaming type deal. Anyhow.
You can just say I'm giving it a star system.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
I wanted a lot of explanation.
I wanted to be more technical. I wanted to be military related.
Here's a long explanation for why I'm giving it a star rating.
I wanted to be clever.
Because nothing's ever rated based on stars.
Well, actually, Netflix isn't anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thumbs up,
what the heck,
thumbs
Netflix?
Down. Get it together, Netflix.
I'd like to see what other people think about Amy Schumer's terrible special.
Anyway, Sarge. Your
out of 5,
rating.
I would probably give it I'd give it a 4 for the beginning of it.
Okay.
But as soon as it gets to the end, 2.
Yeah.
Because just that change of genre and everything, it's 5 minutes and you're getting a whole new story. I just know.
It's ridiculous.
I actually agree with that because the ending completely, it feels like a different game.
Yeah, it does.
I'd give the ending a 2 out of 10, but I'd give the rest of the game an 8 out of 10. Honestly,
When you're in the asylum, basically.
Yeah.
The Asylum 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically agree with that. I'd give it a 88%.
Oh my God, are we all
Hey!
different? I give it 2 thumbs up and 1 stormy cloud.
Angry face.
I give it a
angry face.
fresh for the beginning, and then a rotten, like the most rotten thing you can imagine for the end.
I
So
give
that
it
is.
a steaming cup of coffee and then a bad spill.
So this has been After the Fact with Outlast.
Yeah.
Join us next time.
Let us know what you guys thought of this. If you liked it, if you didn't, I don't care.
We're gonna keep
I do
doing
care, honestly.
I don't. Fuck you.
Hey, don't
those are our
say that
viewers.
to the audience. Sarge has been punished and put on leave. We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day or night, whatever.
Or morning.
Yeah.
Or Outlast.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
It was
whatever.
dumb.
It was great.
Fucking
It
stupid.
was awesome.
Thank you for watching LCB Gaming.
Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this shit.
Yeah, we post a lot of videos. Maybe drop a comment, hit like.